Greetings, everyone. It is Wednesday once again, which means it is time for the San Diego Brewers Guild Happy Hour at Home. As always, I am Beth Demon. You can find me here on Instagram at The Delighted Bite, but we are not on The Delighted Bite right now. We're on SD Brewers, which means that we have our weekly live stream where we check in with a couple different people in and around San Diego beer. We actually are being a little bit more regional today. We are going to kick things off with Peter from AleSmith. You know, obviously everybody knows, everybody loves AleSmith. I'm glad that I drank my $3.94 last week so that I wasn't too favoritism this week, but it's their 25th anniversary, so we are going to check in with them because that is bonkers in itself. Then we are going to go up to LA and check in with the folks at Crown and Hops. It's the lifestyle brand and brewery in progress that is frankly changing the face of beer, the beer industry and culture and everything around it. So I am super, super psyched to check in with them. And then we are going to bring it back down to North Park and talk to Bill Batten from Taproom Beer Company. I know you guys all love Batten beer, so we're going to, talk about that. And then we are going to go all the way down south and talk to Lisa from the Dos California Brewsters Project, which is the binational women's beer group that does a lot of cross-border collaborations and helps raise money for scholarships in Mexico for women to study brewing and for more women to get into the brewing industry. And so she will be joining us from the South Norte Instagram account, but we're going to check out what is happening there. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and crack our beers. I might get some flack for this because, too early or whatever, but I've got my Oktoberfest. It's the first Oktoberfest of the season. And, if we've got AleSmith on, and they're obviously a titan of, OG San Diego beer, and I would say that Karl Strauss is as well. So let's go ahead and just get our Oktoberfest on. It's, 'tis the season. It's September. It's time. So let's check it. I did rinse out my glass because I don't want anybody to scream at me for having a dirty glass, even though my dishwasher kind of sucks. But normally I like to drink out of a can, but we've got a bottle today, so we're doing that. But let me take a look at what we've got going on. I know we're super anxious to get started, and frankly, I'd love to spend more than 10 minutes with every single one of our guests, but you know how it is. We got business to cover. So I have been aggregating job postings and talking about them as I see them kind of here and there, but from the sound of it, all of that kind of first round of initial layoffs due to COVID, layoffs and furloughs, it sounds like that might start to reverse as things sort of edge back towards normal. So last week, the Brewers Guild, the Inclusion Committee, met and we discussed putting together a job board on the sdbeer.com website. So obviously that is still in the planning phase, but in the meantime, Beer Culture with a K, if you are unfamiliar, they are putting together a diverse job board. So anyone who's hiring, who's looking to improve equity and inclusion through hiring initiatives, please do go to beerculture.com and check out that resource, as we are building our own San Diego one. But before you just go posting your job description in the same old places and getting the same old faces, try and, expand your horizons a little bit and see if we can't improve the way that the industry is feeling, is inviting people to be inclusive and come participate. So if you are spending money, this is the Brewers Guild Happy Hour at Home, and the Brewers Guild launched a new merch line called America's Finest Beer. So there is something on the website, there's a shop at sdbeer.com. You can either go to shop.sdbeer.com or just go to sdbeer.com and click shop, and you can check out the whole new collection. It's shirts and masks and the whole 9 yards. So do be sure to check that out. And if you are affected by, the Valley Fire or any of the other fires up and down California, but the one out in Alpine is obviously the biggest deal that is happening here in San Diego, please do reach out. Alpine Brewing Company and anybody else who is part of the beer community who is affected by that, please do reach out and let the guild know how we can support you. That could be part of the beer fund that we have put together. The breweries experiencing economic roadblocks due to COVID-19, but that could be another facet of that. So please do reach out and let us know how we, the guild, can support you, the beer community, during just a never-ending parade of crap that keeps happening. I mean, give me an absolute break. But on a more positive note, why don't we take a sip of this Oktoberfest before we dive in? Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to put up my Christmas tree quite yet, although I thought about it just because why not? But it's definitely Oktoberfest time, and since the El Cajon Oktoberfest is already canceled for this year, which devastates me because El Cajon is better than La Mesa's Oktoberfest. Sorry, it just is. I am really sad to be missing out on that, as well as, GABF and all of the fun fall events that we were all, looking forward to. And I do believe that Epic is still doing some sort of iteration of their Oktoberfest, which obviously is going to be one of the best in town, considering they have some of the best lagers in town. So be sure to check out what Epic is doing, since a lot of Oktoberfest activities are, got the kibosh this year. But in the meantime, I'm just going to drink my Karl Strauss Oktoberfest and call it a day. So hopefully everybody else who's watching this has got a beer or two on deck. I never like to drink alone. But just a quick reminder before we bring on our first guest, and I see that AleSmith is already on here. I might get you on here just a minute or two early, just because we're having a good time. It is interactive. If you have a question or a comment or anything like that, please do feel free to ask that below, and we will do our best to get to that. So let me take a peek at who... Oh, you're on it, Peter. I love it. I'm going to see if I can add you real quick. There we go. Do it. Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Beth?
I'm doing very well. You are so prompt. I really appreciate that. Every once in a while, I have to monologue or, throw out a weird dad joke, and not everybody likes that. So anyway, thank you so much.
I've been looking forward to it all day.
Well, awesome. Well, I mean, I'm going to just assume everybody who's watching knows who you are, but why don't you do a quick intro just so that we cover our bases?
Okay. Peter Zine, CEO, owner of AleSmith Brewing Company, celebrating our 25th year. And got more stories than I care to tell about brewing and what's going on in San Diego. But here we are in our 25th year, and just very stoked.
Did you, in your wildest dreams, imagine that your 25th year would take place in the middle of a hellscape pandemic and fires? And it's just... Is this what you envisioned when you thought of your 25th anniversary?
No, it's just the weirdest year ever. And, I talked to other brewers, when you build a business plan, you don't think to make a line item for a global pandemic. I thought of everything, but, it is what it is. I'm so glad that most of us are doing great and everyone's healthy that I know. And it looks like we're turning a corner and we're going to get around this thing. But, who would have thought it, but kind of having our finest hour during America's darkest time. And people keep drinking beer, and we got that canning machine going 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and pumping the beer out and beating last year's numbers through July, which is without much draft, and without a tasting room. It's rather incredible. So, hang in there, you other brewers. We're all going to be fine. We'll pop out on the other side of this, but didn't see any of this coming, but so glad we're in the position we are right now.
Well, I mean, that kind of blows me away, just hearing that you didn't just meet your numbers from, over the summer from last year, but you exceeded them, especially with such a gigantic space. I mean, you guys have got taps galore and a lot of events and things. I would have assumed that maybe that would have been a little bit more difficult just because you didn't have a couple different places to rely on. It's just that one spot that you've got.
Right. I mean, it was pretty gnarly early on, March, April, May. we redid our forecast. We went out to our biggest, the people, the biggest bills we had to pay. We reached out, got a little help from some people. And then, miraculously just started turning a corner. I have an unbelievable team. Brandon, our president, Elvin, in charge of all of our beautiful new art that we have going on. Anthony Chen and Ryan Crisp. And I have this solid team. And we didn't really have to let anybody go. We just had a handful of positions that we had to get rid of, because of events and stuff like that. But for the most part, everyone got to keep their health care. We took your hours down, kept everyone on, and now we're brought them back. And we're even hiring on the packaging side right now. So, I'm just, it's so fluid, rolling with the punches every day.
Well, talk to me about what some of the stuff you've got planned for the anniversary.
Right. So, we had so much planned this year, and we were going to brew collaborations with some of the world's greatest brewers, and we managed to knock a few of them out, but we also had to push some to next year. But right now we have this anniversary box, and we are going to celebrate with you in your home. You can go to our website and check it out. You're getting this beautiful box full of some of our original beers like X and the Anvil ESB, Old Numbskull, and then also some of the newer blends that Ryan and Anthony have put together that are just mind-blowing. With Speedway Stout as the base, and some barrel-aged beers, a collector's glass, a bunch of swag, and then you log on, and we made really high-gloss videos of some of the people in the brewery, including myself, my wife Vicky, and we'll walk you through the beers at home at your convenience when you decide you want to drink them. So that's all going on right now, and we got some great interest in it. But I was told right before I came on that we still have some available. So. Please join us for our 25th year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of fun, I would be remiss if I didn't at least bring up Cheesesmith. How has that you get through this whole thing? Because everybody's needed a hobby to get through it, and obviously it's more than a hobby. But how has that played into just?
It's been great. It saves me. What I tell people, it just saves me from going to a psychiatrist. It's my outlet. It's my one day. I still haven't hired anyone. I'm all alone in there, and it's just wonderful. So. I've been managing to sell 25, 30 pounds of cheese every week through our tasting room, through the takeout business. And we are open now, with the outdoor dining and some indoor as well. I'm still cranking away. In fact, I have a new cheese coming out. I'm kind of proud of it. It's taken a few years to get it the way I want it, but I have a Speedway cheddar that is finally of the quality I want. The labels are being printed now. We'll have those available in our gift shop probably by the end of the month, in a couple of weeks.
So you still have, outdoor space, the gift shops is still open, but I'm assuming that there's still some, the mezzanine is probably not operational right now. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to, I gave a little bit of a rosy picture, but still, we would be having this incredible year if we had the events going and packed tasting room that like we had the year before. So it's kind of sad. I walked through the tasting room and, because our space is so large, it can hold almost 800 people. Even at 25% capacity or 50, we're still talking about hundreds of people. So we're still able to push, a lot of beer out there. But we chose to close on our own, even though the county said we could be open. But I just wanted to protect my staff. And my real win is what goes on in the back of the house, in the manufacturing and the can and all that. And the tasting room's great. And we look forward to welcoming all of our friends back real soon. Full-blown open tasting room. But it's just been a year that I think some of us can't remember what we did exactly 2015, 2017, 2014. They blend. We're all going to remember what we did in 2020.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I mean, you talked about how, the stuff that you were really into is that back of the house, that production stuff. And I feel like Ale has really positioned themselves as such an advocate for the community, the local beer community. I mean, every single BJCP thing that I've done, like the classes I took, most of the judging I've done is at AleSmith. I mean, you brew for a number of breweries around town, helping with their overflow. I just feel like you have really been such an anchor for the San Diego beer scene for such a long time that it's great to hear that you guys are, you're not in danger of going away, because I can't really imagine San Diego beer without AleSmith. I mean, you were there from pretty much the beginning, and I feel like you're going to be there at the very end of days. Like, who knows? But
no, thank you. Super kind words. We love San Diego. We love our comrades and our brothers and sisters out there. I reached out to a number of brewers and just saying, let me know what I can do for you. There's safety in numbers. Breweries opening, I'll never lose sleep over. Breweries closing is a different story. And we want to be there and support the community. My wife just started her Anvil of Hope nonprofit, so we're now pushing into the nonprofit world as well to not just help the San Diego brew scene, but now we just want to help the world, and it's been really fulfilling.
Well, and that's a whole other thing that you guys are very well known for. I mean, you've got that refugee program, and you've been very, very active in terms of hiring people outside the quote, the same. You look at the same places, you get the same faces. Sometimes that beer scene, it gets really repetitive, and so I think you guys really on the vanguard of bringing people from outside the beer scene into the beer scene, and I think that's admirable and really more necessary now than ever.
That's so important to me and Vicky. We want diversity in our brew house. It brings different stories, different backgrounds, different art to what we do, and we've been advocates of this since day one. So I'm glad unfortunately it's taken so long. I'm glad the country's waking up a little bit, but we've always been doing that, and we will continue. Loving to give opportunity to those that may not look for an opportunity in the brewing world, but there's plenty of it.
Awesome. Well, you talked about, obviously some collaborations and some events and things like that have been put on hold or maybe just not going to happen this year. But what are some things, after the anniversary celebrations and things like that, what are some things that you're looking forward to in Q4 or even Q1 of 2020, some things that you've got planned and look forward to as consumers?
Well, yeah, we have our Oktoberfest just hit the market. We got some new beers slated for next year, which I'm really excited about. We have a really cool new look. I'm not sure you've seen our cans lately.
Very nice.
Blind Tiger up in Seattle just redid our whole portfolio, and I couldn't be more proud of my company right now. Just the beer that we're pushing out is the highest quality in my tenure at AleSmith, and I'm not kidding. Sensory, everything's just clicking right now, and we had to tighten our belts, and it sucks that it took something like COVID-19 to make us all, really become as efficient as possible. But boy, did we respond, and I'm so proud of my team, and I can't give them enough credit. I have my life back, watching from above, meeting with just the high executives. I can't get in the trenches that much. I let them do their thing. We're empowering people. We have all sorts of new leaders coming, and it's just been it's really hard to imagine back in March that I'd be talking like this in September. But I'm sleeping well and breathing easy, and I feel like San Diego's going to pop out of this, and we're going to keep all our breweries. And again, if you're watching this and you're another brewery owner and you got some issues or some problems, I'm the man you can always come to.
Awesome. Well, you guys do a killer newsletter. You're always super good at letting consumers know and keeping them up to date with what's going on. But where are some places where people can keep up with everything? Social media the best, newsletter the best.
Right. I mean, just follow our socials. We're really active right now. We're doing lots of posts, and I kind of feel like we went from worst to first. We got great marketing going on now, which has never been really our forte. But in 2020, it's just made leaps and bounds. So, and Beth, I just want to thank you. You do so much for San Diego beer, and you get the word out, and you're eloquent the way you speak and write. So thank you for all you do.
Oh,
the team.
Thank you so much. I love you guys. Well, like I said earlier, I wish I could speak with everybody for more than 10 minutes. I love having you. I hope to see you again soon. But thank you so much for tuning in and giving us a lowdown on what's going on.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the show. Say hi to Bill for me if I'm not on when he's here.
I will. I actually think I need to have you X out your screen because like last week, mine isn't there. So thanks so much.
I'll try to do it. Give me a minute here.
No problem.
There we go. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
All right, that was Peter from AleSmith, one of my personal favorite human beings. But like I said, the show must go on. We are going to see if the Crowns and Hops people are on here quite yet, because I know that they had a very hard stop time at 2 or at 3:30 time zones. Let me tell you, at 3:30, because they are doing something else. And I actually don't see them on here, which is disappointing. And I hope that they don't think that it's on my Instagram account. So maybe not. I don't know. We might not be able to to get them today, which would be very disappointing because I wanted to talk about the 8 Trill Pills Day, which was yesterday, and just an insane, an awesome thing to do. I have a feeling they might think that it is on my personal account, which is just not the case. So if anybody knows Crowns and Hops and wants to send them a message and tell them that it's over here and not on the Delighted Bite, that could be good, but I am not able to do that right this second. I'm gonna try to type one-handed real quick and see if I can't do that. And if not, the only reason I wouldn't switch and just have you tap room on right away is just because I know that they had a hard stop at 3:30 because they are doing a different live stream of their own. So let's just see. I'm not sure, but if they do hop on, I will be very excited. And then if not, then we're just gonna have to do it. Oh, let's see. All right. Thank you everybody so much for bearing with me. I just want to make sure that I give them the absolute just give them as much time as we possibly can. So thank you. 1 second. I'm going to type quickly one-handed. Alrighty. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm on SD Brewers right now. Thank you. All right. We'll see. We'll give them a minute. I see they're active now. If not, then we're just going to have to move. We're just going to have to move right along, and we'll just see. But in the meantime, I told Peter that I typically have some jokes ready. So, I don't have a joke written down today, but I do have a piece of trivia that 1 year on Saturn is exactly 29 and a half Earth years. So, Saturn is my favorite planet, and I think that's a really cool thing. I did celebrate my first birthday on Saturn way back when I was 29 and a half, but I guess we might just have to move on and see if we can get them on another day because they have got something else right after this. So, oh well, Taproom, you're ready. Let's just get you on there and we will say yes. Let's go live with you. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right. You were so on time, and I super appreciate that.
Cool.
I don't know if you saw, but Peter says hi.
Oh, I didn't. I was trying to finish up my day, so.
Awesome. Well, let's have a quick intro for everybody who's watching, who you are and where you are.
My name is Bill Batten. I'm currently at Taproom Beer Company and just finishing up my day, getting ready for a brew day tomorrow.
There you go. Well, I have to say, as somebody who lived in North Park for 10 years, I'm a little bit butthurt that you guys decided to open after I moved away. So just know that.
Well, I mean, you should know that we're all, we were all a little butthurt that it took over 3 years to open up. So, I mean, in that scenario, we could only control it so much.
And two reasons I'm butthurt is because, the building that was there before your building got built, it was like that costume.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I briefly looked into what it would cost to turn it into a bowling alley.
Oh, what?
Because I was like, how good of an idea is that? Like, there's no bowling alleys in North Park. You have East Village Tavern and Bowl and then the Kearney Mesa Bowl. Like, that'd be a killer, right? Like, that's a good idea.
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. I could have only imagined though trying to buy that building would have been mucho dollars.
Well, and every single lane costs $50,000 for everything. So I was just like, you know what? I guess I'm just never gonna realize my dream of being a bowling alley owner in North Park. And I guess if I had to let my dream die, I'm glad that you guys got to open.
Right. Me too.
So tell me about what's going on. You guys opened at the craziest time in the universe. How has that gone for you?
It's been it's its own set of challenges, definitely having to pivot quite a bit and just kind of be flexible and kind of working with everything and just making it happen really. I mean, it's been good. I mean, fortunately we already set up with a huge patio here, so once that stuff kind of came through, we were able to just kind of start running with it, making sure that we had everything set up, Here, I'll do a little quick scenario picture there so everybody can kind of see the outside space there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, so I've been able to keep busy. Luckily I didn't have to furlough or anything. I had enough beers in the tanks and projects to kind of keep working on. And that's, ultimately what it did for us. It allowed us to kind of keep moving forward, getting everything kind of set into place, get everything, basically ready to kind of really do this thing. Because, I mean, as it was, we hadn't even done our grand opening yet because we were still working on getting our patio because the building itself was still working on the boulevard sign. So we didn't even have a full patio yet. So that was, its own challenge in itself. We were just kind of waiting to, gear up and get ready to do the whole launch and everything. And then all of a sudden COVID hit and it was like, well, okay, I guess maybe our 1 year anniversary will be our grand opening. Who knows? I mean, at this point, so we're at least getting back to somewhat normal. I mean, we have some people that'll come inside and sit down, but I mean, our patio is so nice and it's so, we've got such a nice little wind tunnel right through here that everybody usually wants to sit outside anyway. So we haven't really had to deal much with the inside stuff.
Well, and the food that you guys are selling out of there looks insane too. Like all the pictures are so good.
Yeah, they've been really working on that menu. We've already had to kind of make some changes in our kitchen and stuff like that, but that stuff all worked out really well. We got a great crew back there, and it's a lot of good food. I mean, a lot of it's a little too much for me sometimes because, man, I want to just like go into straight food coma afterwards, but between the chicken wings and everything, it's not the typical taproom menu. We're not doing pizza or anything like that. We already have Luigi's across the street, so why would we mess with that? But we've got things like Cardiff Crack on the menu. We do a steak sandwich with that. We do a nice steak plate with it, and some other things, fish and chips, all that fun stuff. So they've really been dialing in, and I'm really super stoked to see how the menu's been coming along.
What's like your favorite pairing right now?
Oh man, right now probably. I mean, I could get. I like the chicken wings. Probably the crack wings. They're just like a salt and pepper wings with either our ESB or I just released a Schwartz beer recently that I'm really hyped about. I'm super stoked about that.
Yes.
Yes.
Many places I know that have a Schwartz beer. It's like Epic, Home Brewing Company, and now you guys. So I'm like, I'm down to keep track of who brings those on because I am very into it. 'Tis the season, right? I mean,
It is. It just kind of worked out. It was a kind of a collab that I did with George over at Cantina Maya Well. He's always telling me, oh, I don't really like beer much. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you do. And so we started having the conversation. And honestly, it ended up being just a kind of a cool little experience for him that he was able to kind of understand the beer process a little bit more. I mean, he's definitely gained much more of an appreciation of beer after doing that with me, after making that beer with me. I mean, he's taught me so much about tequila and mezcal and all that stuff. It was kind of nice to reciprocate a little bit and give him back a little bit of knowledge about beer making and kind of how that works. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been really stoked about that. And he's been super hyped about it. He's like coming in, getting almost crowlers almost every other day to share with his friends and stuff. So super stoked about that guy.
Nice. Well, I love the question that we have. What beer are you stoked about? I feel like we just kind of covered it, but maybe a different beer that you're stoked about.
I mean, I don't know. It's like what's your favorite kid? Which one do you love the most? Definitely the Schwartz beer. I've got a nice IPA right now called Time and Space that I'm really stoked about. Done with Strata, Samba, a little Mosaic, and a little Nelson. So kind of a West Coast meets like kind of new school, a little bit tropical, but it definitely got the classic kind of pine note, with a nice little citrus kick in there. That one's been doing a bit hitting the spot for me. The No Bearings. That's another one. I'm really stoked about our new the latest lager. Let's see. I was going to see you can kind of get the draft list up there.
Oh, wow. So that's more than I thought. Are any of those? You have to have some guest taps, unless you're just like the busiest man in the world.
we have a few guest taps, but right now I think I just counted the other day, and I think I've got like 18 beers on tap right now. So I've got a few IPAs. I've been doing a single hop series with an extra pale ale called Rainbow Tears. Right now it's a New Zealand blend. I'm getting ready to brew a Mosaic cryo version of that on Friday. So yeah, but staying busy. I mean, I've got 8 fermenters here, so being able to turn those things pretty quickly and just kind of stay on top of it. All it is right now is just me keeping up at this point.
Fair enough. Any wet hop beers coming or?
No. I don't really have much interest in that. I'm not really a wet hop kind of person, if you will. Honestly, I think a lot of it just comes down to my history. I mean, I remember when wet hop beers kind of first hit the scene, and that was like when we were having a lot of trouble getting certain hops. So I was just like, okay, why are we wasting hops when we could just, wait and actually use them appropriately kind of thing. But also I've just kind of been busy with everything else, just trying to kind of keep my legs underneath me, if you will.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, maybe down the road, maybe I'll find a use for it and stuff, but just really nothing right now that's kind of like really tempted me to really want to kind of go down that road.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, you in particular have been in San Diego for forever. So
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of your, like, people were so psyched for you to like be at the helm of this. So I feel like, collaborations and stuff are sort of on hold right now, but like, do you have anything like lined up for the future?
I've got a couple of things. I'm definitely in conversation with Cosmo. I know he's back in town, so we're definitely talking about doing an Ashes from the Grave reboot. So a little smoked brown ale for hopefully try to get it out. Mid-October at this point. I've got a couple of grains that I'm waiting for, and we are. I think we're going to try to meet maybe this week or next, so we can kind of dial in that recipe. I've been talking to Greg over at Fall, maybe do a little winter warmer. And I've been on and off talking with Jeff over at Burning Beard, but that's just been kind of just conversations here and there. We haven't really dialed anything yet. But at this point, yeah, definitely. I had a collab scheduled with Virgin before all this came down, but, it like literally we were going to brew the day after the shutdown happened. And it's like, all right, well, we'll just wait. And we just haven't really gotten that one back on the books, unfortunately. But definitely, that's part of it. As far as being part of this scene, that's always been one of my favorite things to do is to collaborate with all the friends and homies and just kind of, get things out there. I have already done a couple. I did one with Original 40. I did one with Black Plague, and that was, kind of those beers were all released during like the pandemic, so they didn't get to see much light of day other than people just coming through here and getting them.
Well, you guys got crowd like pretty quick. That kind of the situation. People coming in right now want to get beers to go.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely helped us. We got a couple crowler machines. We've got a 32 and a 16. So that's been nice to kind of be able to pivot that way. And yes, doing the to-go, lots of to-go stuff. In this neighborhood, as far as like the restaurant brewery type of thing, there's not much over on this side of North Park, University Heights. So that helped us quite a bit. We've definitely been firing through a lot of those cans that we got in at the time. But yeah, and still having San Diego Tap Room down at the beach. We've been taking lots of kegs down there too, so that's helped us quite a bit just to keep things kind of moving and nothing sitting around too long, which has been nice because that was my biggest concern is that we would be, stuck with sitting on a bunch of beer and things going out of code and whatnot. But luckily, it's all been playing as it should be. So happy about that.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like anybody who was going to open in a pandemic was always going to have a tough time, but having your history and your like existing connections, it seems like the community was probably really super ready to like rally around you.
Right. I got super stoked about that. We started doing a lot of like Facebook chats and Facebook Live stuff to kind of do like, kind of give some people the experience of hanging out and having a beer with me kind of thing, just to kind of keep people aware, like, hey, we're here, we're trying to, we're open, we got all the different services, and we got the online ordering and all that stuff going. So we worked through it, and so now we're just getting ready to have everything kind of start getting back somewhat to a little bit normal. We'll see. There's still a lot to overcome, to actually get to that point again.
Well, where can people follow everything that you guys are doing? Is social media the best place?
Definitely, yeah. Taproom Beer Company on Instagram, and then we usually share that through Facebook as well. But yeah, that's the main thing. We have been trying to, put some of that information out through SD Beer News. Brandon Hernandez has got that new little site going. So he's been kind of sending out a weekly, like, hey, what's going on? We've been trying to kind of keep up with that. But most of the stuff is really just kind of, we're putting it out on Instagram and just, try, stop on through. There's always something new on tap. I'm averaging a beer to 2 beers a week new, to add to the list. At this point, I've got to kind of let the list dwindle a little bit so I have room to add some more things. But I just kegged up a red IPA today. I put on that Schwartz beer last week. I put a black IPA on last week called Hit the Lights. So having lots of fun, just brewing all the different realms,
Just getting crazy. Black IPAs. What year is this? I'm traveling through time. I love it.
Hey, it's me. I love bringing that stuff back. I never got a chance to brew that style when it was relevant, if you will. And I always loved it. I was super disappointed when Wookie Jack went away, kind of thing. I was like, oh man, one of my favorites. But my understanding is they're going to bring it back on a seasonal basis because they do realize that it still is somewhat topical out there. People do like having a little bit of a dark malt profile, the Cascadian Dark Ale or Black IPA, as you like to call it, as people like to call it. So
Cascadian Dark Ale or a Black IPA? Because if it was a Cascadian Dark Ale, I would commend you. But also,
Right, right. Well, I'm more of a black metal person, so I'll just roll that way.
fair enough. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us. We are
Definitely.
on over, but I am definitely looking forward to stopping in soon because I did not realize that you had quite so many beers on tap. So
Yeah, come on through and say hi.
will do. Well,
Right.
thank you so much. Cheers. And again, I have to like X yourself out because that's just how we're rolling today.
Right. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. Who's next? We're just rolling on by. Hello, Transpeninsular. I'm assuming that's Colin. So nice to see you. So it doesn't look... Okay, I just had to check my message real quick. I think Crons and Hops is just doing their own live stream thing right now. We had a little bit of a narrow window with them, but we will try again later. But in the meantime, we still have the perfect South Norte. Love it so much. Let's get you on here right away, and we are just going to keep things rolling going south of the border. We're close to it at the very least. How are you?
Hey there. Hi.
Can we do a quick intro before we get started, who you are? And
you got it. Hey, my name is Lisa, and Lisa Rogers, and I actually here representing South Norte Beer Co. today.
But we're going to talk, well, we can talk about South Norte, but we're also going to talk about the Dos California Brewsters.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So I'm familiar with them. Can you talk to me a little bit about the group, its goals, when it started, why it started, that kind of stuff?
Sure, absolutely. So Dos California Brewsters was founded in 2018, and it was actually founded by the South Norte Beer Company. Melody Crisp, who was leading marketing at that time, definitely saw a need to support the organization in partnership with the U.S. Consulate in Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really proud about connecting women in the brewing industry, right? From both sides of the border. So a lot of women from San Diego and beyond, as well as in Tijuana, really kind of coming together, that great sisterhood with a great passion for beer, of course, and really working on these awesome projects together. And it's really intended to, right, empower, right, people who are pursuing this career. And of course, a passion.
Mm-hmm.
As I take a sip.
Ooh, what are you drinking today?
I'm whispering, si, senor. It is a South Norte beer, Mexican lager.
Excellent. Well, I mean, 2018, I'm like, it almost, I remember when it was started, and I'm always just like, oh, like it's kind of been around, which is totally not the case. But I mean, one of the big things that the Dos California Brewsters, the beer that you guys do every year is you fund scholarships for women to go and learn more about brewing. Could you talk a little bit about that aspect of it?
Absolutely. So when the women do come together and they decide on what they're going to brew, ultimately and historically, what's happened is that it's been sold right at the Ensenada Beer Festival, right? Mm-hmm. And that typically raises funds for donations for women to pursue their careers in the craft at the Institute of Technology in Tijuana, ITT. And it's part of their beer brewing science program. Mm-hmm. So last year, South Norte did fund 8 scholarships and new equipment and raised, I want to say, a little over $2,000 from the sales of the collaboration. Mm-hmm. This year, of course, the ladies met on February 22nd to do their 3rd annual brew, right? With all the excitement and all the passion and, of course, all the sisterhood. And obviously with great hopes, right, to have that craft beer unveiled at the Ensenada Beer Festival. But because, of course, COVID, that was canceled. And thus was the opportunity to kind of have people taste it and right at the festival. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do this year is, of course, we want to honor that and honor kind of that partnership. And so South Norte is moving ahead to do a donation to match and actually exceed of $3,000 to the ITT this year to fund scholarships, to continue that partnership and that collaboration.
Awesome. That is so cool. And yeah, I was personally super devastated because I remember like the Beer Fest, I was lined up to go judge for the first time down there, and it was like that first weekend, like right, we're starting to get sticky, and I'm like, oh great, I got my global entry approved late February 2020. Like, could not be at a stupider time. Like, it is going to be a complete waste. But how did, I mean, for a while, and even still kind of residually now, the border has been, limited to essential traffic only. And so how has that affected the collaboration that's been happening on both sides of the border?
Right. I think it's been definitely obviously challenging to do anything in person, as you know, right? The network of women certainly keep in touch, etc. The collaboration has been mostly being in touch, obviously via social and the connections that they have, and then with the hope of kind of gathering together right in the future. Now, our brewer at South North, Ryan Brooks, he's able to kind of go cross on occasion and kind of meet up with like the different, team members, if you will, of the project, along with his wife, etc., who also is a great passionate, right, brew lover, if you will, in that space.
Sure.
But again, we're really looking forward to a time when we can all kind of get together, and we want to continue to be able to foster the project and maybe even remanage it in new ways.
That would be great. And I mean, I've talked a lot about the cross-border beer collaborations, yes, the importance of Baja beer. I mean, that scene is just absolutely exploding. And I feel like the one thing that I always go back to that really separates the Baja, the Baja Norte beer with the San Diego beer scene, just like there's just such a passion. There's like an innocence and there's an excitement, and people are willing to experiment and take chances and make mistakes and they do it better next time. That's just something that I really, really value about the Baja beer scene that I think we, as the established San Diego, could certainly learn from and look to and just take a note out of that page as we call ourselves the capital of craft.
I actually had the opportunity to show up at the Brew Project in February, and that was actually, and you're right, it's being part of that and seeing it in action that you really get a sense of that kind of special secret sauce that they have, and that really
You are kind of slowing down and then speeding it, so I feel like I sort of got that, but there's definitely a little bit of breakup. No, not at all. Well, so it sounds like events are kind of on hold right now, and you guys really just kind of had that one big event. How can people support the Dos California Brewers right now?
I think, and I apologize because I hear the delay right now coming through a little bit on my end. So I think that you had said, how can people support them like currently right now, right? So definitely I would, follow at Dos Brewsters California, like on Instagram for sure. We have a web page, doscaliforniabrewsters.com, right? Sending messages. For sure.
Awesome. Well, we will be sure to, be following what you guys are doing, because I think the mission is super, super important. And getting more women into beer, fostering that connection with, the binational connection. We're already a border town. We want to make sure that we have as much overlap with our neighbors as absolutely possible. So I really appreciate you checking in with us and giving us an update on the initiative, and we will be looking out for what's next in 2021.
Thank
and
you.
I'm not sure I'm able to, I think, no problem. I think I need you to see yourself out again, but thanks so much, and cheers. Again, not able to, I'm not able to kick All right. Well, that was Lisa from Dos California Brewsters and South Norte Beer Company. So, yeah, we are probably done. I actually was able to connect with the Crowns and Hops people, and it sounds like we're just going to have to save them for another day, which is disappointing, but they certainly have their hands full with their 8 Trill Pills initiative. So if you are unfamiliar with that, that was really the big day for that was yesterday. But if you go to 8TRILLPILS.com, you are going to be able to check out what their long-term strategy is for attacking racial equity in the craft beer community. But I think I'm getting some messages from them. I'm like kind of playing both sides, but we will see if we can get them on here. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's frustrating that I downloaded or I deleted the Instagram app and then I re-downloaded it to try and fix the glitch where I'm not able to kick people off. But that doesn't seem to have taken place today. So anywho, I think we're probably going to wrap it up unless they hop on here in like the next 10 seconds. But if not, I am Beth Demon. As always, you can find me on Instagram at The Delighted Bite, and we do this every single week. At 3 p.m. California time, right here on the SD Brewers Instagram account. But if you have any questions for us, please do email us info@sdbeer.com. But in the meantime, stay cool and drink independent craft beer. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.